Well, welcome back. It is time now for your Sunday Money. And this morning, we've got another viewer question for you from our Money Man, Fain, president of Asset Planning Corporation. Wayne has sent in this question, and he asks, how can parents give their children a solid foundation in lifelong saving and investing? I think that's a good lesson for even adults, too.
Yeah.
So, Wayne, raises a good point. Parents are supposed to teach these lifelong lessons to their kids, but we really don't teach them well to save. A lot of students end up having problems when they get older.
Well, it's so true, Leslie. Wayne's a longtime WBR viewer and a person that I personally know, and he was emailed me and said, we teach kids to not drink the poison under the sink, but we don't always teach them good financial life skills. Think about it. Get good grades. Don't do drugs. So, there is a big gap in what we teach.
Where does this breakdown happen? How do you think this step kind of gets missed in parenting?
Well, I think part of it is lack of understanding. You've got parents that maybe don't really understand the fundamentals, the basics of saving and investing themselves, so they don't know how to teach it. We can't escape the fact that as parents or grandparents that we are role models. I think also some fear comes into play, Leslie, because maybe a parent's made some mistakes with overextended on credit cards, or maybe made a bad investment, and they're just ashamed to share that with their children. And we can't escape the fact that we learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes.
So going forward, how could parents do a better job of teaching these financial habits, and when, how early should they start with their children?
I think you start as early as when a child yells, mine, because they're understanding the concepts of ownership and acquisition, right? So, the kids start wanting cell phones renewable every year, or the latest game. So, I don't think you can start too early. I think it's important to teach delayed gratification. We live in an immediate gratification society. So teaching kids to set a goal, to save part of everything that they get, allowance, mowing grass, babysitting, save a little part of everything they get, and delay that gratification until they've got something fully funded, and harness the magic of compounding.
Definitely. Well, but there's some good tips for parents out there for themselves and to pass along to their children as well. It is time for our Fast Market Fact. I always get excited when this music plays.
Yes, yes.
Paul, what do you have for us today?
Yes. Well, I thought we would talk about the power of compounding. If you took your child or grandchild and helped them buy a simple stock mutual fund, and they save $20 a month for 10 years, say you start with a 12-year-old, that's 10 years to age 22. By age 22, about the time they begin out of college, a 7% return would have accumulated about $3,500. A 10% return would have accumulated almost $4,000. So that's taking a 12-year-old and trying to teach them some important concepts about saving a little bit of everything they make and investing it wisely. And they've got a nice down payment for a new car, or maybe their first home.
Yeah, and it may be hard to teach that when they're that young, but a couple of years, they'll definitely appreciate it. I got really excited there.
You have to continually reinforce this message.
Yeah, definitely, Paul. Thank you. And where can we email those questions if there's people that are watching and want you to answer something for them?
Love getting questions. Paul at assetplanningcorp.com, and we'll do one or two every month.
Great.